Alright guys, welcome back to another wonderful week with Two Eagles Garage. Hope you're all having a great week. I wanted to bring you an update on the now vertical Kawasaki Bayou 300. I did get the oil plug situated. I just drilled the hole out a little bit bigger and put a big bolt in it. Cut me a thick rubber washer and put behind it. I'm going to put some sealant on the threads. And I'm hoping the maybe three threads that are there will give it enough bite to compress that tire along with the washer. I made it out of an old piece of tire. Give it enough bite to compress that along with the thread sealer enough to keep it from leaking oil. The washer's just to give it an even pressure around the seal so that it doesn't leak around the bolt. And the washer's cut tight enough to fit all the way into the threads of the bolt. So it's sealed pretty good. We haven't put any oil in it yet and set it down. That's going to be the next process. I have to get oil because this requires a special wet clutch oil, and I haven't went and found any yet. So that'll be next on the list to go get. And then I've got a foot peg right here I have to weld up because this piece right here is broken off, but we'll get it welded up. And then we'll get it set back down and we'll see what happens to it, guys. But in the meantime, we're going to work on this little Ariens zero turn I've got here. And I'll show you guys a little bit of what I'm doing to it. I had to drill and retap a hole here because I broke a bolt off. So I got to go find a bolt for that. That's just for the cover though. It's not a big deal. Got the carburetor off. I do have a new one over there ready to be put on. But I'm going to put it on last. It does look like it had some water in the intake, but it is not locked up, amazingly. It's got good compression. This engine does run. I've had this engine running before, so I'm not worried about that at all. The engine ran great, and it ran great with the old carburetor. But I took it apart to clean it out, and it was all kind of rusted up, had all kind of gunk in it. And for what I could get for a rebuild kit for it, I could buy a new one, so I just bought a new one. We'll put that on. And then what we're going to do today, I can't let you guys I can't film while I'm doing it because my compressor's so loud. I am actually going to pull the ignition coil off and clean that and clean the flywheel here. You don't have to do this. The engine makes good spark the way it is, so I'm not worried about that. I know it makes spark. I've checked it. I've run it. I know it does. But I'm going to clean it just to give me better clearance between the two and to get a more quality spark. It's not guaranteed that it creates quality spark. I've seen it cause more quality spark a few times, but not in every case. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It just all depends on the situation and the motor and everything. I'm going to clean the ground contacts right here and everything like that. Do you have to do all this? No. Like I said, the mower ran fine the way it was. So you do not have to do all this. But I'm going to do it because I like to clean it up, make it look better, and I plan on selling this mower. So I want it, you know, that rust will continue to build up and close the gap, the air gap. And in some occasions, it could cause it to collide with it. So, you know, keep that in mind when you're doing stuff like this, guys. Especially if it's something you're trying to sell. You know, make it reliable for people, or at least it's something as old as this right here, and is just set out in the weather for a really long time. So I'm gonna make it the best I can and turn it over into somebody else's hand and make a little profit off of it, guys. I will bring you back once I clean this. We will put the ignition coil back on, and we will set the air gap. You can use a business card, you can use a feeler gauge, whatever makes you happy. Alright guys, I'll bring you back after. Alright guys, I got this all cleaned up. I just cleaned the magnets because the magnets actually stick out far enough that this wheel would never contact it would never come into contact with the coil no matter how much it built up rust. I cleaned the contacts on here. Cleaned here, and I cleaned where it mounts at. But guys, if you have one that's not getting spark, Sorry guys, I had to spin you around for a minute, make sure my speaker was uncovered. If you've got one that's not getting spark, doing this is not going to make it have spark. It will never make it have spark by doing this. So there's no point in even trying. Alright guys, I got to flip you back around. Hold on. I'm having to do this while I'm holding you, so guys, be patient. But yeah, doing this will never give it spark if it doesn't have spark. So don't even bother. If it doesn't have spark, check your plug wire, your plug, your ground wire, your ignition switch, your ignition on-off switch is what I mean. You know, check all that, because it's going to be somewhere in there, or it's just going to be a bad coil. And there's a way to test these coils, but the best way is just to find a spare one if you've got one, or replace it. But we'll do a little testing later on, and I'll show you ways you can test them. I've never really done any testing on them myself because I've never run into a bad one. It's very rare to run into a bad one. And the air gap on these is 8 to 12 thousandths. I'm going to set mine at 10 thousandths with a 10 thousandths feeler gauge, because that'll work just fine. Give me just a second here, guys. I'm going to set you down. Now, the way you want to do this, guys, is I can't do it right now, so I'm going to have to set you guys down again to do it. But you put your feeler gauge in here like that. And I like to let the magnets just kind of cinch down on it. Maybe I can. Never tried to do this one-handed before. Alright, let's see here. You kind of push it up to it. Make sure it's got it held tight on there. And then you tighten it up. I just kind of snug one side down at a time. And then this right here, I like to do an air gap in the middle of what the specs are, because then if it varies either direction, you still have a good air gap. You know, these things aren't that picky. You can use a business card to set these. Just a good quality business card will work fine. I've done it 1,000 times. Never had an issue out of an air gap on one yet. Probably never will. Once again, it's situational. It all depends. And guys, I just use common sense when tightening these. You're tightening into aluminum. You don't have to gorilla barrel. Just get them good and snug and you'll be alright. And that ratchet slipped off, the bolt didn't slip. Alright, let's see how I can move that, guys. It's not overly free, but it's not underly free either. Pulls right back out. Alright guys, I'll get some more work done. Figure out what I want to do next. Because I'm still going through and cleaning it out, but we may be going on to the carburetor next, guys. I will bring you back whenever I decide what I want to do. Alright guys, bringing you back for the conclusion of what was going on today. We're going to conclude this video. It's not going to be a very long video. I went on to get the fuel tank out because I knew it needed to be cleaned out, because it had some bad fuel in it and some trash down in it. So I got it out. And unfortunately, it's got a crack there and a crack there, if you can see it. There we go, focus. So we're going to have to address those cracks. If you ever want to take the fuel tank out of one of these old Ariens zero-turn motors, I don't suggest it. both drive arms had to come off, both fenders had to come off, the shaft going through had to come off. All that had to come off just to get the fuel tank out. Pain in the butt. The front control panel here had to come off. Yeah, a lot of it had to come apart just to get that off, because there's a big shaft that goes through here. So it had to come off, and that to get it off, both sides have to come off. Can't just take one side off. But yeah, I'll give you guys a look down in it. There's what you're looking at down in it. And it is trashed, buddy. So we will conclude this video for today. And I'll bring you guys back next time I try to do something. Two Eagles Garage signing off.